Hey everyone, welcome back to That's Cakeable. I'm Janine, and this week I decided to join the 5 billion other people that have shown you how to make a unicorn cake. But mine's got a twist or two. Firstly, I wanted to show you how to make a cake that you don't have to cover in fondant, but you can still get a smooth finish, similar to fondant. This entire cake is covered in black ganache. Yep, she's all chocolate. Also, when it came to my unicorn, I wanted to switch her up a bit. So, she's a zombie. Yeah, change is as good as a holiday. I hope you enjoy the video. So to make this cake, I used 5 alternating layers of both white and dark chocolate mud cake. And I used ganache as I always use ganache and made it the same. I just added a whole lot of black colouring. I ganached my cake. First coat, of course, is our crumb coat, using the top board as a guide, as I usually do. And then, of course, I came back in with a very thick coat of the black to make it all nice and neat, covering in any spots that I've missed. And believe me, it does get a bit messy, okay? It's black. But you can use any colour you like for any cake you wish. Came back in and took my scraper, smoothed it all out, and then took all of the excess off the top and popped that aside to chill. So I found this beautiful image of a unicorn that was a bit of a zombie but still slightly cute on the internet, and it was done by an artist called Alexandra Machoka. I think I have that right. I scaled the picture to the size that I wanted, laid it on a piece of white fondant, and just stuck it down with a bit of vegetable shortening, then went over all of the details with my Dresden tool, lifting up each side carefully to make sure I've got it all before I pull it off completely, and I end up with the impression of my zombie unicorn. Then I took my X-Acto knife and carefully cut around all the details, all the outside of my unicorn, including that giant eye. Alright, to beautify her, I used a mixture of methods. So I used petal dusts to add shading. Using smaller brushes will give you darker shading, larger brushes, lighter shading. And then I took a very thin brush, painted in any extra details, took some pink petal dust and went through the ear and around the eye. And then I just slashed up the neck a little bit and put some pink and black petal dust in there also. To make the horn, I took a snake of fondant, beveled it on either side, tapered it rather on either side. Then I folded it in half, twisted it and cut it to size. Cut. Then I marked out on the unicorn's head where I wanted it to be, marked out the size that I needed it to be so that I could just slot it in there and it fit in seamlessly. Just like that. I took another small snake of fondant just to tidy up the base of the unicorn horn and just rolled it around the edge there. So some of you may have the same thoughts as my daughter had. She comes to me and she says, "Mum, I don't know if I'm sold on this whole zombie unicorn idea because unicorns are supposed to be happy creatures." Who says she's not a happy zombie unicorn? She goes around and she eats all of the nasties in the world, like blackberries and poison ivy and stinging nettle. She's vegetarian, of course. And she's ridding the world of all the nasty flora that's around, you know, all the pests. So that makes her pretty happy, which makes her a pretty happy unicorn, zombie or not. Now to make my rainbow, first I chose my colour palette. And then I just rolled out a whole bunch of fondant ropes around the same width and length. Then I took a board that I dusted lightly with some corn flour, used a circle cutter the size that I wanted the inside of the rainbow to be, and just wrapped those cords all around the outside of that cutter. Cut off one side and then I decided to just sort of depress the other side of the rainbow because I wanted it to look a little bit drippy. And it worked. Just testing again that we're still good for shape. Popped a few cocktail sticks in the base so that we can secure it in our cake later, and set it aside to dry. Now my little zombie sun, which I didn't know if I would use or not, but I like the yellow pop of colour, I made by rolling out some yellow fondant, and I took a styrofoam ball, cut that in half, put some yellow fondant on the base of that, which I attached to the styrofoam with some piping gel. Then did the same on the top, piping gel, fondant over the top, just smooth that down. Then I trim off the excess, give it a smooth with my hands. And she's ready to go. Or he, I don't know. To make the sunbursts, I cut out a strip of the same colour yellow fondant. And then I free-handed triangular cutouts all the way along that strip. Wish I worked that fast in real life. I took my piping gel and just ran a little bit around the edge of my styro ball. Wrapped that starburst around the outside and trimmed up the edges so they meet up. To make the eyes, I just rolled out a very light yellow fondant into small balls, popped them on the face where I wanted them. Then I took a toothpick, and the blunt end I used to dip into some airbrush colour to give him little eyeballs. Pushed my Dresden tool into his face for the nose and the mouth. Now I'm coming back for that last coat of that beautiful black chocolate ganache, just to neaten up the top of my cake to make it all tidy and level. How amazing is that? Like seriously, no fondant, all chocolate. Then I popped that aside to chill and came back and put my unicorn on. So I attached the unicorn with a little bit of piping gel and just gently popped her on. A little bit of piping gel where the eyeball is, and I made a black toffee half sphere eyeball. Pop that in. A little bit of piping gel where our horn has to go. And there she's ready. I don't know why I didn't show you how I made the mane, but it was the same colour palette that I used for the rainbow. And the same way that I made the unicorn horn, a rope of fondant, tapered at either end, and then just attached with piping gel. Popped on our rainbow at the top. Then I thought she needed just a little bit more something something, so I'm going to show you now how I make my pinch clouds. A roll of fondant, pinch it up into little coils, pinch it off at the bottom, see, lots of pinching, pinch cloud. Do that a few times until you've got the size you want and sort of mush them together and see what you like. Then I take another piece of white fondant that I've rolled out, place that over the top, pinch the bottom of that off, pinching again, and just rub my finger over to make all the indents where those little balls were. There we have a pinch cloud. Super simple, super effective. And then I just added a little bit of shimmer because, you know, unicorn, shimmer. And there it is, my black ganache zombie unicorn cake. Well, that's it guys. Thank you so much for joining me again this week. Don't forget, if you haven't already, hit that like and subscribe button down there. Hit the notification bell so you don't miss out on any of my future videos. And like I said, if you like recipes, tips, tricks, etc. from the channel, head over to my website at that'scakeable.com. And while you're here, why not check out a couple of my other videos. I will see you next week, and until then, don't forget to get your cake on. Bye.